Teachers, if you haven't been using Canva for Education yet, where have you been? It's completely free and it transforms your lessons, making them far more engaging, interactive, and loads of features that you would have done on paper, you can now do electronically. In today's episode of Miss Esther at Teach and Tell, I'm going to be going through with you 4 key ways to use Canva Education to transform your lesson. It's going to be a step-by-step guide using Canva code, and don't panic if you're like me who thought Canva code meant literally you were coding so you ignored it. It's not that. Canva does the coding, you just tell it what you want it to make and it is done. If you are listening to this episode, I do highly recommend you jump over to the YouTube version because I'm going to be showing you step by step with the video footage how to do all of these so you can start transforming your lessons now. So let's get into it. So first of all, you need to make sure you have got a Canva for Education account, which is completely for free if you are a teacher. Just log in or sign up using your school account details, your school email address. So you will come to your homepage, and the first thing that I'm then going to do is click Canva AI. And what I'm going to show you here is how you can use Canva to create a PowerPoint that is highly engaging. It's got great graphics, it's going to transform your lesson in about 5 minutes. And I start by typing in my lesson details here. So here we go. I've typed in what I wanted. I've told them the topic. I've also said target grades, how many students, the type of activities, starter, main, plenary, the fact that I've got 2 students with ADHD, how long it is. And I'm not even going to bother correcting the typos because it's a waste of time because it can work it out anyway. Now you can now at this stage copy and paste the specification to tell it exactly what level of detail. Or if you've got your own notes, you can do that. And that's actually what I'm going to do. Just copy over the information that I've got from my notes. So I can tell it to do it in that level of detail, just because I then know that it includes the examiner tips and things that I wanted in there, and it's got more information in it compared to just the specification. So it didn't take too long to think about that at all. And it's having a look at the information that I gave it. And then you can choose what type do you want. Now it's already selected educational because I've set a slide. This option here is playful. I'm probably just going to go for geometric. You can pick what you want. 15 pages. So you can decide how many slides you want your lesson to be. I'm going to go 15 plus for my hour lesson and click submit. So it's now ready and it tells me what you could have on each of the slides, and it gives you the option to edit it. So let's just have a look. So now that all of the sections are ready, I can have a quick check. So let's just have a look at this in terms of editing. Homeostasis, yes. GCSE subtitle, well, I don't actually want that information to be on my subtitles, so I'll get rid of it. You could have your name there. So that's that one edited. Then I want to just check the starter quiz. Yep, that all looks good. Learning objectives, you could always copy in your own ones if you don't want to have that, and I'd be getting it to English spelling. You can actually tell it to do English or UK spelling throughout. And then I'm going to click generate design. And again, that has not taken long at all. It's taken so far maybe about 20 seconds, and it's going to pop up different options for me to pick from for the layout of this presentation. So it's given me 2 options. I prefer this one. So I'm going to click to say, let's go ahead with that one. And you can now have a look. We've got ready-made a really colourful, engaging PowerPoint. And it does start, like I said, I wanted a starter, mini whiteboard, and we can change it if we want. So if I go to use Canva editor, if you're not happy with any of the images, the text or the layout, you can now edit it if you want. So for me personally, I probably want all of these at the bottom to be at least 24 fonts, so it's easier to read. And then I can just move it. There we go. And you can just check through that throughout. Once you're happy with it, click share, download. Make sure you then select the PowerPoint option, and we can click download. You can see here it's downloading the PowerPoint. And here it is now in PowerPoint, which you might be more familiar with. So just as you would with any other PowerPoint, you can change this as well. So that is one way we could be using Canva to really quickly make engaging, different style PowerPoints. Now the next thing, I've gone back to the home page and I've clicked Canva AI. This time I want to click Canva Code. So I'm now going to use Canva Code to create an activity that I could either set students for homework, or it could be in a computer lesson where it's an interactive digital activity to completely transform, which maybe you would have done previously, projecting onto just a PowerPoint where you couldn't get students to come up and get involved. So I'm going to create a fill in the gaps activity. So here's what I've typed in, created fill in the gaps activity. Again, I've specified the topic. I've said I want 10 gaps. I want 3 easy, 4 medium, 3 harder. And if students are stuck, they can click a hint button and they're given an option of 3 to choose from. And that way, if this is being set as a homework, they have got that extra guidance to help them. So I've clicked the submit, and now it's going to code to create this as a website for us. And this is what it's produced me. So it's given me some information that it's color coded, the easy, medium and hard. Now, if you don't want the students to know that, you could always ask it to not indicate it, but you've still got that information. And then I recommend always testing it, because sometimes it is a bit glitchy and it doesn't work. So for this one, I've clicked on give me a hint in case of a student that didn't know, and internal environment I put in. We've then got to maintain a stable state. This includes controlling levels of something, body something, and water content. So controlling levels of, let's say, glucose and temperature. Now, if a student wasn't able to do it, they've got breathing rate, heart rate, and glucose. So we've got blood glucose. I'd need to correct that too. Temperature is there already. And then at the end, click check answers and we can see. Now, when you are happy, you could always change the font, ask it to change the title. You can make those aesthetic changes, or you could even say, change this question, say something else, and you get different versions. Because every time you change something, you press submit and it updates it. If you have school colors that you have to follow, you can do that. But I'm going to say I'm happy with this. Publish. You will need to have a website. And if you don't have one, it can create your own Canva one. And that's what I did here. And I just added my new Canva one. And then this one I'm going to call fill in gaps. Publish. It prepares it then as a website. And that is now something that we can just share this website link with your students, and they can then complete this activity. Next one I'm going to have a look at then is again using Canva Code, but let's create a key terms definition matching up activity. So I'm going to type in my instructions. Now you can give more detail at this point on colors, format, which key terms that you want. The more detail you give, the better. But for the sake of modeling this, I'm just going to click go at that point. And it does take a few minutes for this coding section before we can then check it. And there we go. It has created this resource that we can then check, version 1. As I said, always check just to make sure it has done it correctly, because sometimes I've tested this and it's glitching. It hasn't got the correct matching, and then I tell it, and then it does always correct it. So let's go for, we've got recessive, an adult that's only expressed when 2 copies are present, shown with a lowercase. Yes, it'd be that one. And we can see here it's matched in green and it's gone along there. Next, then we've got phenotypes. So let's have a look. So physical characteristic that results from the genotype. I would say just you will get better accuracy with these if you copy and paste the specification in, because for me, I'm looking at it thinking that's not specific. I'm looking at thinking it's not exactly what you'd need to say in the exam. But if you copy and paste in the spec at the start of the information, then you'll get that. Same idea again, you then press publish, connect it to your website, give it a name, and you get that link. Now I'm going to use Canva Code again, drawing together all of these ideas so far. I know one real issue is revision lessons. How do you make them engaging, effective, and actually test students and help them to improve? And sometimes we might book a computer room because students will progress through activities you might set at different levels. And I think using Canva Code to create an interactive revision lesson that students can work through is brilliant, because they can do that in the lesson. You can give them the link and then they can carry on afterwards. So that's what I'm going to make next. There we go. And I'm going to click go and we can see what we get created. And here's what it's created us. What I actually quite like about this is I didn't tell it to do this, but I do like this as a feature. Approximately how long it should take you and the number of questions. Now, what that does stand out to me is That's useful to know because I now know there's not enough in this lesson to fill all of the time. So you could then get them to do exam questions, or you could ask it to do more. But let's just take a look at the activities themselves. Which organelle is responsible for aerobic respiration? Hopefully they would know that, and it gives you a bit more information. What's the main difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells? So size only. Oh, interesting. Now that's incorrect. I'm going to see what it says. So yeah, good. It does give me the correct response and the explanation. And we can carry on going through, checking it. Like I said, always check. Students go through, they get their overall score and the information. Then we have the true or false. Both plants and animal cells contain mitochondria. So they're told whether it's correct or not and a bit more information. And then again, 8 questions, they can work through those. Matching key terms. We've got the different organelles that they would need to know and the definition. So let's see, we've got controls, movement of substances in and out of the cell. That would be the cell. I've got to select this side first. So cell membrane. Now that's something I could say if I didn't want it to be that way. I could say, actually, I want them to be able to select the definition first or the key term first. And then they'd have to work through all of those. The short answer question. So we've got explain why plant cells have a cell wall, but animal cells do not. They've got keywords to include, which I do like as an option below to tell them you need to include those answers. So let me type something in and let's see what we have. Let's see what it would say to that answer. So they've told me which terms I use. Now I've got some of the ideas, but just didn't literally use it. But it's interesting that they can actually pick that up and mark it. And then they've said plant cells have a cell wall made of cellulose, provide structural support. And they've got some extra information and a little revision tip as well. So I think that's an amazing feature. And anything else that you want or you can edit, you can ask it to change it. So let's go back. And we can see you'd get your progress at the bottom. You could then say, looking at the progress, write them a summary of how to improve, or add in a prompt for students to have to come up with a SMART target as well. Anything you want. And as with all of them, you click publish, go to your Canva site, call it whatever you want, and then you've got that made. You can send it to the students to use in the revision lesson, or you could use it as homework, or both. So give it a go. It's completely free for teachers and schools. So have a think about one lesson or one piece of homework that you might be setting next week that you can actually transform into an interactive activity instead. See how it goes down with your students, and then you can try it further. That's it for this week. Hope you found it helpful. Make sure you're following so you don't miss out on any more tips and tricks to streamline your workload and transform your teaching.